rookie type players like Mateo and
I can just see Lowry getting a lot of at bats in that team. He's just a crafty veteran, and he knows the organization. And
a guy that can't say like he would have injuries on top of injuries.
Yeah,
he's the kind of guy that goes, I wish that I could just have a year where I'm as healthy as Giancarlo Stanton. That's all he wants.
You ready to jump into this pitching ranking or what?
Oh, are you doing pitching? I thought I was doing outfielder.
I thought you told me that I was doing pitching this week and that you were doing outfield next week.
We go either way because I'll be ready for outfield next week if you want to do pitching.
Yeah, I thought that's what we. Man, I could have been wrong. I swear to God, you sent me a text that said that, but I've been so busy all freaking week.
I mean, if you think about it logically, we were doing all the hitting stuff, and then we were going to move to pitching because we did first base, second base, shortstop, third base.
You can totally do outfield. I don't care. I can wait a week.
There's not a lot. Yeah, it would be nice to be a little bit ahead. With both these rankings, because the truth is we have to talk about a lot of pitchers. We're sort of leaning on the ADP for anyone who's listening, and that's important because the truth is almost every player is decent enough to draft. The question is whether he's worth that value or not. And so you got to talk about him in terms of value. But if you were to do a legitimate ranking of outfielders, you'd have to go at least 75 deep. If you're doing a legitimate ranking of pitchers, you'd probably have to go 100.
I think we probably should go 100, but I mean,
I
can keep ranking. That would give me more time because I don't quite have my 100 set exactly.
In my thinking would be like once you get to a certain point, and we'll go through this and we'll kind of flesh out when I go through the outfield. It should be like these are the guys that are after that, and these are the ones that are important. Okay. You know what I mean? Like all right, we'll start with the outfield. Breaking it down by draft session, there are 5 outfielders going the first round. And the order right now by NFBC ADP over the last 30 days, ending with this last Monday, it's Acuna, Betts, Soto, Trout, and then with a little bit of a distance, Christian Yelich. So Acuna is like 80, average position is 1.8. Betts and Soto are right neck and neck, and Trout is now in 4th by a distance. He's at pick 6. And the truth is, between those first 4, you can argue it either way. I don't really care.
Can we say that Trout's a value this year?
No, it's like I used to say that people would always say, "What do you think about me taking Acuna over Trout last year?" I go, the only reason why you shouldn't do that, because the truth is Acuna is going to steal more bases, so he's actually a little bit safer than Trout. Strange as it is. The only reason why you shouldn't pick Acuna first is because you don't want to be the guy that lets somebody pick Mike Trout second. Because once he's not a first round pick, nobody is a value at first pick overall. But Trout is a value starting at pick number 2. The truth is he goes at 4. What a bargain! I actually put that down in we were talking about last week. I put down number 4 as my number 1 slot, just for that reason.
No, I get it.
So I ordered them Acuna, Trout, Betts, Soto, Yelich, which is
okay. So wait a minute, say that again. Acuna.
I put the first round personally. I have it Acuna, Trout, Betts, Soto, Yelich. Acuna? They have it Acuna, Betts, Soto, Trout, Yelich.
So you're saying
Trout number 2 is to me ahead of Betts and Soto.
God, you went so fucking fast.
Well, we got 100 to go through, and
no, it's fine.
We got a long way to go. Short time to get there.
I love Soto, man.
It can't be done. No, Soto's
he's a guy I want to have in almost every one of my drafts if I can have him. I love what he brings to the table.
Soto's number 4 basically because of those 4, I think that he's unlikely to get more than 10 stolen bases. That's really the reason why he's 4. But he's not 4 by much. Like if you were to look at how I'm going to draft the first round, Acuna is my number 1 overall pick. Trout's my number 2 overall pick. Betts is my number 3 overall pick. Soto is my number 4 overall pick. Might be my number 5 overall pick.
Interesting.
I like Trey Turner a lot, and I like Jose Ramirez a lot. Those 2 guys might be up there, but
I love Trey Turner.
but it's right. So we're splitting hairs on this. Yelich, he should be picked in the first round, but toward the back of the first round. Pick 10 at the earliest in my mind. No later than pick the second pick in the second round. Second round, by their draft choice, has 2 guys that I probably won't draft because this just seems like there's too much. There's no upside to either of these guys at these picks. In the second round, you get Cody Bellinger at the 16th pick and Bryce Harper at the 20th pick. And it's like, yeah, they might do that, but they're not going to do better than that. And I like Harper better than Bellinger.
I like Harper better than Bellinger this year as well.
I would pick Harper. Harper would be my next player on the next player off, and then I kind of put Bellinger there because I felt like I couldn't not do it. But the truth is, I don't know how I could put Bellinger significantly ahead of Marcell Ozuna or JD Martinez, which are my next two guys. But anyway, third round, get the weirdest guy on there. What's your feeling on Kyle Tucker?
I was just going to ask you the same thing.
All right, so let me see the third round real quick.
The pedigree's there. I don't know that I've seen enough from him to be sold to take him in that draft position. We've seen a full season out of Luis Robert. We've seen a full season out of Eloy Jimenez at this point. We know what to expect of them a little bit more. Those guys being right around him.
In the third round are Tucker, Jimenez, Robert, Merrifield.
Yeah, we've seen more from those guys. So for me, I'm more comfortable bumping Tucker a little bit down. Now, I could be completely wrong on him. He may have a monster breakout season. We all know the hype of being a prospect.
He certainly did started last year, but yeah, he
just got pop.
He hasn't played enough, and that's the one thing that I think people are really going to miss out on is that last year, because of the 60-game season, we didn't see how the long, drawn-out season played on some of these guys. And I would say, don't get me wrong, some of these guys that had great years last year are going to have great years this year all the way through, but half of them are going to melt.
Well, look, here's the deal. Here's the only thing that he's one of those guys where I'm not going to reach out to draft him, but he falls into my lap. I don't think he's going to with an ADP of 31.15. He's going too quick, but if Houston, which is a smart-ass organization, is willing to let George Springer walk out the door, and because this kid's obviously the real deal, there's something that has to be said about that, just a little bit.
No, I don't think they'll let George Springer run out the door because they thought Kyle Tucker was. I think George Springer wanted out. He wanted out the same reason why Chris Bryant wanted out, and somebody else is going to pay them more.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like they didn't make a huge effort to get him to come back.
But anyway, I actually I would put in this round ahead of actually all these guys. I would put both Springer and Marcell Ozuna and JD Martinez. But he's not on the thing because he's only DH only. He'll get outfield eligibility somewhere down the line.
I mean, goddamn! I just want you to take a guess. How many RBIs do you think Kyle Tucker had last year in a 60-game season?
I was going to say maybe 32.
Fucking 42.
Wow,
I mean, that would explain his ADP right here. He had a 268 average, a 325 on base, nothing special. He hit 9 homers, nothing too crazy in that short season. But the 42 RBIs are kind of eye-opening for me. And 8 stolen bases on top of it. So let's push those two numbers out.
I just don't think I really like
120 RBIs and 20 some stolen bases.
They played 60 games last year, so just
I understand.
I understand. Guys that have never played 100 games before, you definitely can't go 2.7 times. You know,
I get it. I'm not saying that you can ever equate that because it's so easy to look at guys and go, with half a season they hit 30, they're going to hit 60. It just doesn't work that way. We all understand how baseball works. But still, you can look at that and go, okay, maybe that gives me an idea of why he's being drafted there. Maybe it's not as crazy as we all think.
Well, look at I have my book here, so I'm prediction on Tucker. I'm in their pitchers. Tucker. I love having actually a physical thing to read.
I bet.
So, they have him for 32 home runs, 89 RBIs, 14 steals, 259 average.
Yeah, that average is a little thing that worries me. He hit 268 last year. And
all those things he can make. 75 runs. That's the function of batting fifth or whatever, right?
Sure.
He'll have more RBIs than runs. I don't know if is that really the numbers you want out of the 33. When you draft him with the 32nd pick overall,
that's impact player. That's top 3 players, top 4.
More than this. This is very good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but it's like his average is league average.
I mean, maybe it's a stolen base potential. I mean, there's got to be factors for it.
He did steal 30 bases at AAA.
In the money, yes.
RR.
Round Rock.
I thought that was the Rangers spot. That's why I didn't say it out loud.
I could be wrong.
But I would take Ozuna and Springer after that.
I love Marcell Ozuna, to be honest with you, man. I think that we saw him come back healthy from the shoulder injury that plagued him a little bit and in time and towards the end of Miami and his time in St. Louis where he was recovering from it there and was never really had that pop that we saw like that breakout season he had in Miami. I saw that power from him last year. And if you go ahead.
Tucker, I was just looking at these. Would you take either Stanton or Judge over Tucker?
I would oh God. See, it's so for me, I'm such a sucker for an Aaron Judge. I really am. Just the power potential. You know what I mean? Just that ability to hit 50 homers for me is huge.
I'm looking at my rankings I put together, and I have Tucker. I have Stanton and Judge wedged in there just ahead of Tucker. And I'm like,
I can't do it with Stanton as much because he's burned me, and it's one of those things where it's like fool me once, and he's fooled me too many fucking times.
Really?
Yeah, man. I've banked drafts. My very first fantasy baseball invitational, I fucking took Stanton with my second pick over Trevor Story, who I wanted to take, and then it cost him.
Aaron Judge had one year where he channeled Mickey Mantle, and that was in a year when nobody thought he was going to be any good. So, right?
He won me so many fantasy leagues that year because I had him in like fucking all those leagues.
Yeah, somebody picked him up off the waivers or whatever. I remember, it's like whoever picked him up, he won the league for you, and that was it.
Yes.
But the truth is, he's never done anything close to that except for that 1 year. He's only had 1 year, whereas Stanton has had 3 or 4 really good years.
But he's also had so many years where he just strains this. Oh, I'm out.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's the difference. It's like you go like Stanton's played 8 years. He's had 4 really good years, 4 years where he's disappointed you. Aaron Judge has disappointed you every year he's played but one.
Interesting thought process.
No, they're very similar. Don't get me wrong, but in any year where Aaron Judge average draft position was under 200, he's disappointed.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, just the underlying number, even when he doesn't, I mean, fucking 2019, he only had 378 bats, still at 27 bombs. Dude, if he could put together a 500 bat season, he's hitting 50. I'm sorry. He's only 28. It's not like he's ancient.
Okay, I got Tucker at 16. You know who's right behind Tucker on my list?
Go.
The enigma that is Randy Arozarena.
I can't draft him this year. I will not draft him based on what he did in the playoffs. Now, if he falls to me, which I don't think he's going to, at ADP at 57, which is insanely high.
I got him at 60, so he's moved up in a week.
That's crazy.
Sorry, that's wrong. Yeah, I have 57, 57.13. But the guys behind him aren't all that exciting. It's like, I don't know how you, don't get me wrong.
I'll take Teoscar Hernandez over him any day of the week.
Oh, I love Teoscar. I have Teoscar Hernandez. Actually, I don't.
I will take Charlie Blackmon over him. I will take Nick Castellanos over him. I'll take Lourdes Gurriel Jr. over him.
These are the guys who are going right after him. You have Aaron Judge going right after him, who's the injury problem. You have Biggio, Grisham, Lowe. I don't know how you.
I will see
those guys over him.
But that's what I'm saying. I won't take any of those guys. I'll literally jump down the list all the way to Hernandez, and then I'll go lower into Gurriel. I'll go lower. I'll take Castellanos. I see guys in there I like lower. I like fucking Austin Meadows more than I like Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is these guys are
I like Eddie Rosario more than I like Randy Arozarena.
I like
Byron Buxton more than I like.
I like Randy Arozarena going into last year, and I said if he had playing time, he could do something pretty special. Now, I wasn't thinking what he did in the playoff special, but I was thinking like here's a guy that could steal a number of bases, hit 25 home runs. But the real thing about him is he's got the bat skills that he can hit 320, 325.
You know who I like over Randy Arozarena? I'm going to give you 2 guys who are way down the ADP from him. Kyle Lewis. Would you take him over Kyle Lewis?
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I'd take Arozarena over Kyle.
Really?
Lewis.
Over what Kyle Lewis did last year?
I think Kyle Lewis, the thing about him is that he's much like that number on Tucker. It's like the best possible thing I'm going to get from Lewis is very similar to that. It's on a team that scores a lot, so you're looking at like 32 home runs, 90 RBIs, a 265 batting average.
Interesting. What about Mike Yastrzemski?
Mike Yastrzemski is, I mean, like, if you factor in, and that's true about Lewis too, if you really factor in the where they're getting drafted, the 30, 40 spaces difference, I get it. But I think that straight up, I like Arozarena over both those guys. It is one of those things. But
he's not shown me enough.
As I was going through this depth of positioning, I'm thinking about drafting in a 5-team. If you're in a 5 outfielder 15-team league, you have that's 75 outfielders are going to be drafted. When we get down to 75, I'm like, this is pretty like there isn't really a couple. Usually, there's a few guys that are beyond 75 that I go,